This is Let's Talk Business with your host, Marc Ebinger. Now, here's Mark.
Welcome back to the Let's Talk Business podcast. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk about the benefits of using a Latin American virtual assistant from the perspective of a U.S.-based plumbing company. In studio with us today is Marc Vargas, the owner of Silverback Plumbing and Drain here in San Antonio. Marc is known as the Silverback for his leadership skills and strength, and is widely known for his commitment to customer service. Marc, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
You bet. This is your second time. It's been a while. Were you in this studio?
I believe.
I think so too, right?
I believe I was. Yes,
yeah, sitting in that chair. I think right over there. That's cool, man. So, there's a story about you carrying a water heater up or down the stairs or something. Is that where the strength thing came from?
That is part of it. Yes, that's part of it. So not very many guys can, carry a water heater that's full of water.
Full of sediment or whatever.
Full of sediment and all that stuff. And it was actually up an attic ladder. Not only I had to bring it down, and then of course the new one is so much lighter. It was easy to carry that one up, but I had to bring it down and stuff. And I was by myself because no apprentices were available. By the time the apprentice showed up, he caught me at the tail end of carrying this thing down, and he was like, "There's no way I just saw you do that." So and then of course he went back to the shop and he just told everybody, and they're like, "What?" So then part of the story is that's where Silverback came from. Yeah,
I like that. Is there another tie into Silverback, or is it simply really the strength?
It was just I have a very vocal personality. Okay, I tend to tell people like exactly what I'm thinking when it happens.
Short trip from here to here.
Yeah, very fast. So
that's good because people don't have to guess where you're coming from.
Yeah. And the thing is that I just like letting people know exactly where I stand. So some people will say I'm abrasive and all that stuff. Other people say no, he's just straightforward, and I'm just straightforward.
Yeah, there's no mystery, right? It's not a mystery wrapped in an enigma somewhere. You're just Marc Vargas. All right, so I'm your host, Marc Ebinger, the CEO of Crükus Virtual Staffing, a company that recruits and staffs experienced overseas administrative assistants for insurance agents, attorneys, and real estate agents. If you're curious about the most common tasks that virtual assistants are doing for businesses, head over to our website at crükus.com and grab our list of the top 20 tasks that VAs are doing for businesses like yours. The link is in the podcast description. I've built my whole company using virtual assistants, and it really has it's more affordable. It's easier to make adjustments if I need to make adjustments in staffing, like if people aren't performing or whatever. There's not a whole lot of red tape. There's no payroll taxes. There's no W-2. There's no 1099. Yes. It just makes my life so easy. And the reduced labor cost, right? Yeah. Which, is something that, people may be in favor of and may not be in favor of. But look, at the end of the day, entrepreneurs, we have to be competitive. And we have to be able to afford what we're doing so we can stay in business. And, virtual assistant staffing was something that really helped me. I loved it so much that I actually pivoted my original company, mission over to virtual assistant staffing. Yeah. And then actually added in Latin America later on because of the demand here in San Antonio for Spanish-speaking. And hiring Spanish-speaking out of the Philippines is not a good choice because you're dealing with a couple of different layers of accent, they're just not as versed in it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So let me finish with the promo and we'll get into it. I get excited to talk about this kind of stuff. But so a quick reminder, of course, follow the Let's Talk Business podcast on all major podcast platforms, and you can catch video versions of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. We've got a mega mixer coming up. Now, the podcast is a huge success, but we also bring it. I think one of the reasons it's a huge success is because it's tangible. It's something we bring people together here in San Antonio. We've got the Let's Talk Business podcast is having another mega mixer coming up here in San Antonio on Thursday, March 27th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. And we added an extra hour because we were all hanging around that long anyway. Yeah. Tickets are on sale now for just $20. It's a huge expo-style mixer with lots of networking. And what we've found is that having the expo style, it increases the networking like magnitudes. I'd say 10x, but that might be overreaching. But it's so much more effective at networking. You've been to these mixers a few times,
I have been
right?
to the mixers before, and they're great. Yeah, I mean, I meet tons of people, let them know about us, and then I find out about them, and we find a way that where we can work together and help each other grow. It's
What do you
awesome.
think of the vendor booths? You know what I mean?
The vendor booths are great. I love it because the people can actually talk to a group of people all at once as opposed to going one by one. So I think on a business aspect of it, it's a whole lot better. I can get a group of people in front of me that'll listen, and then they'll learn about me. So that I really like that part of it.
Yeah, me too. In fact, we've expanded that. We had 8 or 9 booths before, but now we're up to 18 or 19 booths.
Nice.
It's we're at a
They're
new
fun.
venue,
Yeah.
and it was so much bigger. It's going to have a great effect, I think, an impact. I'm looking to have impact when it comes to entrepreneurs because to me, there's people that like charity work and doing volunteerism and all that. 'Cause my passion is with entrepreneurs. It's because our road is tough. If I can do something to help make that better for other entrepreneurs, that is my passion. That's my true passion.
Right.
And this is a way for me to service our community. So, yeah, there's going to be vendor tables where you can chat it up with local businesses and take advantage of some great deals. There's going to be light snacks there and then plenty of drinks. As always, the net proceeds from the event will be going to support multiple charities here in the San Antonio area, and we are expecting to sell out again. So get your tickets by going over to the Let's Talk Business website at satalkradio.com. Get your tickets there. Get 2, get 3, buy some for your whole team. Just make sure that they get a spot there. And a quick shout out to Imad Gurgis and his team at Simply Bookkeeping for being a platinum sponsor for the upcoming Let's Talk Business Mega Mixer on March 27th. Simply Bookkeeping is dedicated to helping businesses grow by managing their bookkeeping needs, allowing owners to focus on their core operations. Simply Bookkeeping has been my bookkeeper for a couple of years now, and they do a fantastic job, so easy for me to endorse them. If you're seeking professional bookkeeping services to streamline your business finances, be sure to check them out at simplybookkeeping.com. That's simply with an I, bookkeeping.com, or call them at 832-518-9368. All right, so Mark, you decided, I know we've known each other for a while now. It's been over a year.
Yeah, quite some time. Long enough for me to do work at your house. So,
Yes. Yeah. And that's still, it looks beautiful too, by the way,
Great.
the work that you guys did there. So what made you decide to go ahead and hire a virtual assistant from another country?
Well, first off, the company expanded quite a bit, and the workload in the office was getting a little heavy. It's a family business. So, and then my daughter was heading off to college, so we were losing her. That's when you and I talked about a virtual assistant, and we looked into it, and it was kind of a no-brainer especially when we saw the benefits of it. As stated earlier, the employment taxes on it and whatnot, and the amount that we pay her for the work that she does is just phenomenal. It lowered our overhead and everything, so it was kind of easy decision to make. But overall, what made us decide to go with that was that we were just getting overworked in the office, and we needed help quick.
Right. And so you wanted somebody from Latin America because they speak Spanish, right?
Yeah, speak Spanish.
What kind of tasks do you have her doing?
So we have her, as of right now, she's answering the phones, scheduling the appointments for our clients. She performs payroll. She allocates the payroll checks for our guys. And then we found out through her that she's got some marketing experience. So we've kind of put her in charge of going ahead and taking care of our Facebook and all that stuff, and putting out some little marketing ads and stuff on there for us also. So she's really great. She's great at that.
All right, cool. And so obviously the cost. So you pay one fee to my company, right? And that's it. You don't have to file a W-2. There's no 1099. Nope. There's no payroll taxes. There's none of this other complicated stuff that happens. We take care of all of that for you. You just pay us every month, and we take care of all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
So some of the other services we're providing, of course, we take care of the payroll, but we also take care of time management, right? Just clocking in and clocking out.
Correct.
And then also HR. So what's been your experience with any of those? Have you had to bump into any of those, like HR services, or any kind of issues you've had to deal with?
Absolutely not. I haven't had to bump into any of those. For the most part, we're I run a pretty tight ship, so HR is definitely not an issue, especially since my wife is the HR lady. So if there's any issues, hey, she has the certifications to take care of all that.
Okay.
But as far as the virtual assistant, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really a good find. Was this the first one, or did you have to go through more than one person to get your ideal virtual assistant?
We did go through a series of applicants with y'all and stuff, and that's what I liked about it. Also, is that you made sure that we got exactly what we wanted. So we interviewed several applicants until we found the exact one that fitted us the best. So that's what we had to do. But this is my first virtual assistant.
So
with
you didn't
anybody.
have to fire. You didn't have to fire anybody, because we got about a 10% turnover rate, right? So sometimes they'll hire and it's like, you get a little bit into it and you're like, oh, this wasn't a good fit.
Right.
So, but it's low, but it does kind of happen. But it didn't happen for you guys. You got the one that you liked. And how long have you had her with
God,
you?
man, I think we've had her about a little over half a year now.
Yeah.
I think so.
Goes by fast.
Yeah, it goes by quick. But yeah, I mean, ever since she's come on, she's been she's just been phenomenal. She follows tasks. She lives, she follows direction extremely well, and she communicates very well, which is something big in our industry. We have to communicate, whether it's with clients or just other business owners like yourself. That hey, we're going to set up meetings and stuff like that. So it's extremely important that I keep my schedule nice and tight, and she's just grabbed the bull by the horns, and she's controlling that sucker all the way.
As far as the hiring process goes, you were involved in the hiring process, but
Yes.
anybody else on your team involved in that?
Yeah,
well?
my wife Donna, she was involved in it, and then my daughter was also involved in it because she was the original dispatcher for the company.
So when you guys first came into this, you're probably thinking you're not quite sure what you're getting into or what this is going to look like.
Yeah. I mean, it's like just all of a sudden, hey, let's take a road trip. Where? It's only kind of thing. So, it was a little bit of an adventure. It was like, okay, this is, but it was a learning process also. So which is something that we're always open minded to. Is like, hey, if there's something new we can learn, we're going to learn. So hiring the virtual assistant was definitely a learning process, and it was just overall great experience. Anything
in that was a shock to you that really stood out as it's like, whoa, I didn't expect it to go this smooth. I didn't expect to find the one I was looking for. Just tell me a little bit how you felt about that whole process.
I was extremely surprised at how fast we were able to find one, and then two, it was smooth and fast at the same time. I mean, those are two things that everybody wants. We want it quick, and we want it with no issues. Everybody wants that, right, in life. So, and that's exactly the way this process went. As soon as we started getting the applicants and we started reviewing the applications and stuff and what their skills were and all that stuff, then we were able to go through the process of elimination, and then we start setting up Zoom meetings and to see face to face kind of the kind of personality that they had. So, and if it went a step further, then boom, okay, now you're in the finals. Let's narrow this down even further. But it was extremely smooth, extremely quick, and it wasn't quick to the point where I was like stressing out over it. Like, man, I gotta get this done quick. No, it wasn't like that. I wasn't being pushed or anything. There was no stress from any side. It was just like, all right, let's go. And it was just one right after another, and we were going through it pretty quick. So that's what I'm most surprised about, really, how smooth and fast it went.
Now, what about the accent? So a lot of folks are worried about a thick accent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the way our process runs is there's a voice sample that comes at the first step, right?
Yeah.
So the client is making a decision on whether the accent's okay or not, whether or not to move forward on that. So,
yeah.
Did you have reservations about the accent, and then if so, how were those alleviated through the process?
There were some concerns about the accent because I had asked some of the clients before I even moved forward with it, how they felt about it. I like to get my clients involved in the business because ultimately we need them. So, and I want to make them happy, and that's what my company is all about. So we want to make sure that they get what they want. And one of the things that I was told on or spoken to about was the accent. Right away, I hate to say this, but one of the things that most people really don't get deterred from sales or whatever is because of an accent. Right away, they think, oh, okay, scam call, whatever. Somebody working from a call center from overseas, just, they're just cold calling and stuff. So right away, they hang up. I said, okay, fine. So making sure that the accent was as little as possible was pretty much at the top of my list. Again, I want people to be able to understand. I want my clients to be able to understand what my dispatcher is saying. And of course, vice versa. She needs to be able to understand what they're saying. So that was my number one concern, and really my only concern. The rest can kind of be taught without any issue, whether you're in person or over the phone. Yeah.
So what you ended up with at the end of the day was something that met that criteria as far as accent, very little accent, and high level English comprehension. Yeah,
I got very little accent, and that was on purpose also. I don't want. I mean, we're in San Antonio, right? San Antonio, Texas. Oh, what is it? 85% of the population here is Hispanic. And the major out of that 85%, probably 95% speak Spanish. So to have a client call in and then hear an accent that is of Latin descent, kind of does put a little bit of comfort. And it also makes our clients feel like, hey, well, I can talk to her in either or, and I'm going to get my message across. And that's actually come through a couple of times from our clients. I love the fact that she's bilingual, and we were able to talk to her. Because if they weren't able to explain it in English, they were able to explain it in Spanish and get the message across.
Let's talk about work ethic too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people feel like, and I know it's been my experience, as an American, people may like it or not like it, or agree or not agree, but it's like finding a large candidate pool of people with work ethic is something that I have found to be pretty easy to do by sourcing overseas. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to work ethic of your virtual assistant, how would you rate that, and what's that experience?
10 out of 10. Her work ethic is phenomenal. She's on time. She clocks in every day at the same time. It's just almost robotic, kind of thing, which is extremely hard to find here. Again, another thing I don't like to say, but it's true. Her work ethic, she clocks in 8 o'clock and clocks out 5. She notifies us when she's taking lunch, and right after an hour, she's back on the clock, and it's just awesome. And it's like a watch. I mean, it's never wrong, and, she's always going to be there.
So if there's other plumbing companies out there that are, interested in exploring the idea of hiring a virtual assistant to help with their administrative tasks, maybe dispatching and maybe estimating or payroll or whatever, what recommendation or what would you tell them? It's like,
do it, bud. I mean, do it. It's plain and simple. Just do it. I know it's kind of, it can be kind of hard for somebody to wrap their brain around that. It's like, man, virtual, I don't have my eyes on them physically. And, a lot of people are like that. They need to be there, and it's kind of micromanaging, so that's what they're used to, and that's what they want to do. But virtual assistant, it's made my job so much easier. First off, it's made the company run a whole lot smoother. I have to admit that. Not that my daughter didn't do a great job. She did great, but with having a virtual assistant, Society has just done awesome. So anybody that is thinking about doing it, I'm telling you, you got to do it. So much stress is going to be relieved after you get it done.
And as far as managing them, day to day, what does that look like for you guys? I mean, are you meeting, or somebody in your team meeting with them daily? Is it weekly? What does it look like as far as that part of them being part of your culture?
So what we have Society do is she gives us a report at the end of the week of all the tasks that she completed, and if there's any that weren't completed because they weren't time sensitive or anything like that, she lets us know. But ultimately, she reports to us on a daily basis via telephone. She'll call us or message us on WhatsApp and say, "Hey, Mark, this is what I've done. This is what needs to be done. I'm gonna get back on it tomorrow, and we'll complete it tomorrow." She's always giving me her schedule, and then once a month we have a tech meeting where she's involved also via Zoom. So, but communication with her and her being able to communicate with us is just second to none. I mean, awesome.
So she's pretty autonomous.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, that's not necessarily something everybody would be comfortable with, and it's not always effective for remote workers, too,
Right.
where they can work autonomously. So, I mean, you've got a really good VA here that is taking care of business, and they don't have to be managed.
Right. Yeah, I don't have to manage her. I mean, we're not bothering her. We just we send her a text or we give her a call and we tell her, "Hey, we need this done." And she's like, "I'm on it, Mark." All right, great. I'm at that point where I don't have to worry about her at all because I know she's going to get it done. I trust her that much right now.
Now, when you have communication, is there like a timeline? If you text them or you call them, obviously she's handling your phones coming, your inbound calls,
Yes.
so she's available. She's answering those calls. If you guys send out a text because you need something or an email and she's responsive?
Yes, I mean, immediately. I mean, within seconds. She's that quick. So of course, when she's on lunch, she's on lunch. We don't bother. We tend not to bother her, but there's times where it's like, okay, I got to get this to her. It's usually not time sensitive. Anything time sensitive, well, then I just call Donna. But if it's not time sensitive, I'll send her the text. As soon as she clocks back in, she'll say, "Got it. I'm on it." That's the response for all of it. Is "I'm on it, Mark. Don't worry about it." So yeah, it's awesome.
Now, so as we wrap, kind of the final question, and it's kind of the obvious one, but it's like, would you recommend Crükus Virtual Staffing to other plumbing companies out there or other small businesses that are looking to hire a virtual assistant, and if so, why?
Hell yeah, I would recommend it. I mean, there's no doubt about who to recommend when you need a virtual assistant. It's you, bud. Yeah, you got this locked in, and you got it down. You've done all the work on it. You've done all the science and stuff, and reason I would recommend it is because I am here to testify for it and let everybody know that this really is working. Okay. The process of hiring is so simple. Just know exactly what it is you want so that you can get that. Okay. It just takes a little bit of thinking. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. That's why anybody, and I've actually told people, like, "Hey, you need to call Mark. You need to call Mark." You know that. So, and they're inquiring about it, but there's still a little bit of nerves going on. But no, don't hesitate. Call Marc Ebinger and get it done. The process is so simple, and I don't think you're gonna get that anywhere else.
Yeah, just jump in and we'll help. We help guide people through that process. Sometimes they don't know what kind of tasks and stuff can be done or whatever. But yeah, and we really love it too. Our philosophy is client first, VA second, company third. That's the way we work it. It's really important to me that you guys are happy. And if there comes a situation where there's a problem, we just need to work out whatever that problem is. Because people are people. At the end of the day, relationships turn over. They just do. So it's a matter of, okay, well, let's take whatever action needed to fix it or to replace that particular situation. So, all right, Mark, well, I appreciate you coming in and taking time out of your busy day to chat with me about this. It means a lot. So thank you very much.
I appreciate you having me on. I really enjoy letting you know how all this is working and how happy we are with it.
Love it. All right, as we wrap up the show, quick reminder, check out our latest podcast and catch video versions of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. It's going to be it for this one. Thanks again, Mark. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one.
Later.